Macroautophagy is one of the most fascinating and powerful self-preservation mechanisms built into the human body. It's not something you have to buy, inject, or even supplement with. It's already there, quietly working behind the scenes to keep you young, healthy, and full of energy. The word itself can sound intimidating, but its meaning is simple. Auto means self, and aphagy means eating. So, macroautophagy literally means self-eating. But this isn't a destructive process. It's a deeply intelligent, regenerative one. Your body is designed to constantly clean itself up, to recycle its damaged parts and rebuild from within. When this system functions properly, it acts like your body's built-in anti-aging program, removing the cellular clutter that accumulates with time. Imagine your cells as tiny factories, each one producing energy, repairing damage, and maintaining balance. Over the years, these factories begin to collect waste, damaged proteins, worn-out cell membranes, and malfunctioning mitochondria. Just like any factory that produces waste, if the trash isn't taken out, things start to slow down. Efficiency drops, toxins accumulate, and the risk of breakdown increases. Macroautophagy is the cleanup crew that sweeps through your cellular landscape, identifying what's old or broken, sealing it off, breaking it down, and recycling it into fresh, usable components. This process doesn't just prevent disease. It helps preserve the vitality of every tissue in your body, your brain, muscles, heart, and even your skin. When you're young, this system works smoothly and efficiently. Your body is in a constant state of renewal. But as you age, several factors interfere with this cleanup process, mainly overnutrition, high insulin levels, chronic stress, and environmental toxins. The rate of autophagy slows down, and your body begins to store more damaged materials than it removes. These old proteins and organelles act like rust inside the cell, disrupting communication and energy flow. That's when aging accelerates. You feel more tired, you lose muscle tone, your brain feels foggy, and your immune system weakens. What's really happening is that your body's natural recycling program has gone dormant. Macroautophagy is more than just cleanup. It's the body's way of renewing itself at a microscopic level. Every time a damaged part is recycled, the cell gets stronger and more efficient. This process also helps regulate inflammation, because many inflammatory molecules are produced by dysfunctional or dying cells. By clearing them out, macroautophagy reduces systemic inflammation, which is one of the key drivers of aging. Scientists have observed that in animals and humans, higher levels of autophagy are linked to longer lifespans, better immune function, and greater resistance to disease. It's one of the reasons fasting and calorie restriction consistently show anti-aging effects in studies. They naturally activate autophagy. What makes macroautophagy truly remarkable is its intelligence. The body knows exactly what to recycle and what to preserve. It doesn't just randomly destroy cellular parts. It targets the ones that are damaged or no longer useful. When the cell detects nutrient scarcity, like during fasting, it activates a series of genes and proteins that initiate autophagy. Damaged materials are encapsulated in a membrane bubble called an autophagosome, which then fuses with a lysosome. Inside the lysosome are powerful enzymes that break everything down into amino acids and fatty acids. Those raw materials are then reused to build new proteins, membranes, and mitochondria. It's a perfect cycle of breakdown and renewal, all driven by your body's own intelligence. This process becomes incredibly important when it comes to protecting against age-related diseases. Conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even cardiovascular disease have one thing in common: an accumulation of cellular waste and defective proteins. When macroautophagy is impaired, these toxic materials build up and start damaging nearby tissues. But when it's active, it prevents this buildup and allows your body to stay biologically younger. Think of it like upgrading your cells instead of replacing them. Your body doesn't need to create new ones constantly. It just needs to keep the existing ones clean and efficient. Supporting macroautophagy doesn't require complex treatments. It starts with simple lifestyle changes that reduce insulin and promote cellular stress in a controlled, healthy way. Intermittent fasting is one of the most effective triggers. When you fast, your body senses the absence of nutrients and activates autophagy to generate energy from internal resources. This period of cellular cleaning not only promotes longevity, but also enhances metabolism, mental clarity, and energy. Exercise has a similar effect. It mildly stresses the body and activates autophagy in muscle cells, improving strength and endurance. Quality sleep and nutrient-dense foods like cruciferous vegetables, green tea, and omega-3 fats further support this process by providing antioxidants and cofactors that enhance repair. The beauty of macroautophagy lies in its simplicity and power. It's your body's natural way of pressing the reset button, of keeping your cells young and efficient without external interference. Every time you activate it, you're essentially slowing down the biological clock, preventing the accumulation of the very substances that cause aging from the inside out. The key is to work with your body, not against it, to allow this ancient mechanism to do what it was designed to do: clean, renew, and regenerate. Fasting is one of the most powerful natural tools to activate the body's built-in repair and regeneration system, known as autophagy. When you eat, especially when you eat frequently, your body focuses on digestion, nutrient absorption, and storage. But when you fast, everything changes. Your body shifts from feeding mode to repair mode. This shift triggers a series of biological signals that wake up your cell's cleanup system. It's almost as if the body says, "We're not getting new fuel right now, so let's start cleaning up what's old and damaged." This is when macroautophagy begins to work at its peak, breaking down and recycling worn-out proteins, organelles, and even entire cells that are no longer functioning properly. Fasting acts like a reset switch, giving your cells the chance to renew themselves from the inside out. When food intake is reduced for a period of time, insulin levels drop significantly. Insulin is one of the key regulators of energy storage, and it also suppresses autophagy. In the presence of high insulin, the body stays in a growth and storage mode, not in a cleanup mode. Fasting lowers insulin and increases other hormones like glucagon, growth hormone, and norepinephrine, which signal the body to start using stored energy and repairing damaged tissue. This hormonal balance creates an environment where cells are forced to become more efficient. They start recycling their internal components, burning fat for fuel, and generating new mitochondria. This process is not only about weight loss or metabolism, it's about deep cellular maintenance. When fasting activates autophagy, it gives the body time to focus on longevity rather than constant energy processing. What's interesting is that the body doesn't go into a state of starvation during fasting. It goes into a state of optimization. The body becomes more selective with how it uses its resources. Old and damaged proteins are dismantled and converted into amino acids, which are then reused to build new proteins. Dysfunctional mitochondria, which can leak harmful free radicals, are targeted and removed in a process called mitophagy. This protects the cells from oxidative stress, one of the main drivers of aging. Fasting, therefore, is not deprivation. It's a biological strategy that activates ancient survival pathways, the same pathways that allowed humans to endure long periods without food throughout evolution. Another important aspect of fasting is how it influences metabolism and inflammation. When you fast, your body switches from glucose metabolism to fat metabolism, entering a state called ketosis. In ketosis, fat is broken down into ketones, which serve as an alternative energy source for the brain and muscles. Ketones are not only efficient fuel, they also act as signaling molecules that enhance autophagy and reduce inflammation. This metabolic switch improves insulin sensitivity, stabilizes blood sugar, and reduces oxidative damage, creating an environment that supports longevity and health at the cellular level. Many people notice increased mental clarity, stable energy, and improved mood during fasting because ketones provide a cleaner, more stable fuel for the brain. One of the most misunderstood ideas about fasting is that it causes muscle loss or slows down metabolism. In reality, the opposite happens when it's done correctly. During fasting, growth hormone levels rise, which helps preserve lean muscle mass and stimulates repair processes. The body prioritizes cleaning up damaged cells and proteins rather than breaking down muscle tissue. In fact, fasting promotes the regeneration of stem cells, the body's master repair cells, which later differentiate into new, healthy tissue once you start eating again. This is why fasting has such profound effects on tissue repair, immune system renewal, and even skin health. The timing and type of fasting matter as well. Intermittent fasting, which involves eating within a specific window, such as 16 hours of fasting, followed by an 8-hour eating period, is one of the most practical ways to trigger autophagy without extreme deprivation. Longer fasts, such as 24 to 48 hours, can deepen the process and promote even more cellular renewal. However, even shorter daily fasting periods provide significant benefits by lowering insulin and giving your digestive system a break. The key is consistency. Over time, regular fasting helps retrain your metabolism, teaching your body to burn fat efficiently and clean itself naturally. Fasting also influences longevity genes, particularly those controlled by proteins like AMPK and sirtuins, which play a major role in energy balance and DNA repair. When fasting activates these pathways, the body becomes more resilient against stress, disease, and cellular damage. This genetic response is part of why fasting has been linked in research to increased lifespan and reduced risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. The activation of autophagy through fasting is nature's way of recycling and renewing your biology. It's not just about eating less. It's about giving your body the time and space it needs to heal. The most powerful part of fasting is that it doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated regimens. It's available to everyone, built into our biology. By simply allowing periods of rest from food, you activate one of the most fundamental repair systems ever designed. Your body becomes cleaner, more efficient, and biologically younger. Fasting is the master switch that reminds your cells how to rejuvenate, not by adding more, but by allowing less. High insulin is one of the biggest barriers to activating autophagy, and it's one of the main reasons why so many people today are aging faster than they should. Every time you eat, especially when you consume carbohydrates or sugary foods, your blood sugar rises and your body releases insulin to move that sugar into your cells. Insulin is a vital hormone, but when it stays elevated all the time, it keeps your body locked in a constant state of growth and storage rather than repair and renewal. This means that your body is too busy storing fat and processing energy to focus on cleaning up old damaged cells. When insulin levels are high, autophagy, the body's cellular cleanup process, gets completely shut down. This suppression leads to an accumulation of cellular debris, oxidative stress, and inflammation, which are the primary drivers of premature aging and chronic disease. In a healthy body, insulin rises temporarily after eating and then falls again, allowing periods where autophagy can take place. But in the modern diet, where people eat every few hours, snack constantly, and consume refined carbohydrates, insulin rarely gets the chance to drop. This keeps the cleanup process switched off for long stretches of time. Over the years, this pattern results in insulin resistance, where the cells stop responding effectively to insulin. The body then compensates by producing even more insulin, creating a vicious cycle that keeps autophagy suppressed. This chronic high insulin state not only contributes to weight gain and metabolic issues, but also accelerates cellular aging by preventing the recycling and renewal that your body desperately needs to stay youthful. When insulin is persistently high, cells become overloaded with glucose and start producing excessive amounts of free radicals, unstable molecules that damage proteins, DNA, and membranes. This oxidative stress further disrupts cellular function and increases inflammation throughout the body. Without autophagy, the damaged components remain inside the cells, compounding the problem. It's like living in a house where the trash never gets taken out. Over time, the accumulation becomes toxic. High insulin also promotes the buildup of advanced glycation end products, or AGE, which stiffen tissues and make the skin, arteries, and joints less flexible. These AGE are one of the visible signs of accelerated aging, and their accumulation is directly tied to excess insulin and high blood sugar levels. Lowering insulin is one of the most effective ways to restore autophagy and reverse this internal clutter. When you reduce your carbohydrate intake, especially refined sugars and grains, insulin levels drop, and your body begins to switch from glucose metabolism to fat metabolism. This metabolic shift is what allows autophagy to turn back on. The body recognizes that fuel is scarce and begins to clean out damaged proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria, and other waste to generate new energy. Intermittent fasting also plays a major role here because it naturally lowers insulin and gives the body time to rest from constant food processing. When you fast, your insulin falls, glucagon rises, and the cellular repair mechanisms begin to work again. High insulin doesn't just affect metabolism, it impacts nearly every system in the body. In the brain, it can lead to insulin resistance, sometimes called a type 3 diabetes, where neurons stop responding properly to insulin signals. This reduces energy production and increases the buildup of amyloid plaques, the same proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. In the muscles, high insulin makes it harder for the body to burn fat for fuel, locking you into a cycle of dependency on glucose. In the skin, insulin triggers higher sebum production and inflammation, contributing to acne and premature aging. And in the liver, it promotes fat storage, leading to fatty liver disease. All these effects share one underlying mechanism: suppressed autophagy and the accumulation of damaged cellular components that the body can't clean up efficiently. When insulin levels are brought under control, everything begins to change. Energy levels stabilize, inflammation decreases, and the body starts to detoxify itself naturally. Cells begin to operate more efficiently. Communication between hormones improves, and mitochondria becomes stronger. This is because autophagy is finally able to resume its vital role, breaking down what's old and building what's new. By restoring insulin sensitivity through dietary changes like lowering carbohydrate intake, avoiding frequent snacking, and incorporating fasting, you allow your body to enter that repair state more often. This is not about starvation. It's about rhythm, periods of nourishment followed by periods of rest that allow your cells to rejuvenate. High insulin is one of the silent accelerators of aging because it blocks the very process that keeps you young at the cellular level. The more often insulin spikes, the less time your body has to repair. The goal is to create long stretches of low insulin throughout the day so autophagy can work like it's meant to. It's a balance between feeding and fasting, between growth and cleanup. Once insulin comes down, the natural intelligence of the body takes over, and the cleanup process begins. The less often you trigger insulin, the more often your body can cleanse itself. It's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter, less frequently, and allowing your cells the space to renew. Mitochondria are the power plants inside your cells, responsible for producing the energy that fuels everything you do, from thinking and moving to repairing tissue and maintaining organ function. When these tiny structures are healthy, you feel energetic, sharp, and resilient. But when they become damaged, they start leaking harmful free radicals that destroy nearby proteins, membranes, and even DNA. This cellular damage leads to fatigue, inflammation, and accelerated aging. The body, however, has a built-in system to deal with this problem called mitophagy, a specialized form of macroautophagy. Mitophagy identifies, breaks down, and recycles dysfunctional mitochondria, allowing only the healthy ones to remain active. This constant renewal process ensures that your cells keep producing clean, efficient energy without generating excess oxidative stress, which is one of the main drivers of aging and chronic disease. Every cell has hundreds or even thousands of mitochondria, depending on its energy demands. Muscle, heart, and brain cells have some of the highest concentrations because they require immense amounts of energy to function. Over time, due to stress, poor diet, environmental toxins, and aging, mitochondria accumulate damage. Their ability to generate ATP, the energy currency of the cell, declines, and instead, they start producing reactive oxygen species. If these defective mitochondria aren't cleared out, they can trigger inflammation, impair metabolism, and accelerate cellular decay. Mitophagy acts as the quality control system that identifies these damaged mitochondria and eliminates them before they can cause harm. The result is a cleaner, more efficient energy network within your body. This cleanup mechanism is deeply influenced by lifestyle. Fasting, for instance, is one of the most powerful activators of mitophagy. When you stop eating for a certain period, your body senses an energy shortage and begins optimizing its energy production. Instead of relying on glucose, it starts burning fat and producing ketones. These ketones not only serve as a cleaner fuel, but also signal your cells to increase mitophagy. The body becomes more selective with which mitochondria to keep, removing the ones that are inefficient. Exercise works in a similar way. When you challenge your muscles, you create mild stress that stimulates mitochondrial turnover, leading to stronger, more resilient mitochondria. Both fasting and exercise signal your body that it needs to adapt, clean up, and grow stronger rather than accumulate waste. Mitochondrial health also plays a vital role in metabolism and weight control. When mitochondria are healthy, your body efficiently burns fat for energy. When they are damaged, metabolism slows, fat burning decreases, and more energy is stored as body fat. This creates a cycle of fatigue and weight gain that can be difficult to escape. Every moment, the brain is exposed to oxidative stress from energy production and environmental factors such as toxins, poor diet, and lack of sleep. These stresses lead to the creation of damaged proteins and organelles inside neurons. Normally, macroautophagy identifies these dysfunctional components and recycles them. It encapsulates the waste in a double-membraned vesicle called an autophagosome, which fuses with a lysosome to break it down into basic molecules that can be reused. This keeps neurons clean, balanced, and able to communicate effectively. When this process slows down with age, those damaged materials accumulate, leading to impaired communication between brain cells. This interference affects memory, focus, and overall cognitive performance. Many of the hallmarks of aging in the brain, like forgetfulness, confusion, and slower processing, are signs of reduced autophagic activity. One of the most important roles of autophagy in the brain is the prevention of toxic protein buildup. Proteins like amyloid beta and tau, which are associated with Alzheimer's disease, are normally cleared out through the autophagy pathway. When the process is blocked or inefficient, these proteins begin to form clumps or plaques that disrupt neuronal communication and kill brain cells. This is why people with poor autophagic activity or high levels of insulin resistance are at a greater risk for neurodegenerative conditions. Insulin resistance in the brain, often called a type 3 diabetes, reduces the cell's ability to utilize energy efficiently, further impairing autophagy and accelerating cognitive decline. Maintaining low insulin levels through fasting and a low-carb diet helps restore this cleanup process and protect the brain from premature aging. Fasting plays a particularly powerful role in activating brain autophagy. When the body enters a fasted state, insulin drops and ketones are produced. These ketones not only provide the brain with a clean, stable source of energy, but also act as signaling molecules that stimulate autophagy in neurons. This is why many people notice sharper thinking, improved mood, and better focus during fasting periods. Ketones reduce inflammation, enhance mitochondrial efficiency, and promote the removal of toxic materials from brain tissue. This process protects neurons from oxidative stress and supports the growth of new neural connections, enhancing overall cognitive resilience. Exercise also stimulates autophagy in the brain, especially aerobic activities like walking, cycling, and interval training. Physical movement increases blood flow, oxygen delivery, and the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that supports neuron survival and growth. This combination of factors enhances autophagy, helping the brain adapt, learn, and repair itself more effectively. Regular movement not only strengthens muscles and the cardiovascular system, but also rejuvenates brain tissue, maintaining mental clarity and emotional balance well into older age. Dietary choices further influence how effectively the brain can activate its cleanup systems. Diets high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, and processed oils create inflammation and oxidative stress, directly impairing autophagy. On the other hand, nutrient-dense foods such as leafy greens, omega-3 fats, cruciferous vegetables, and antioxidant-rich herbs support cellular detoxification and brain health. Nutrients like magnesium, zinc, resveratrol, and polyphenols from green tea and turmeric have been shown to enhance autophagy pathways. These compounds help the brain clear waste more efficiently and promote better communication between neurons. Sleep is another crucial factor in brain renewal. During deep sleep, autophagy and the glymphatic system, the brain's fluid-based cleaning network, work together to flush out toxins and waste that accumulate during waking hours. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts this process, leading to a buildup of metabolic debris and impairing memory and concentration. Ensuring consistent, high-quality sleep gives your brain the time it needs to restore itself and maintain cognitive function. The link between autophagy and brain longevity is undeniable. A clean, well-functioning brain resists aging, remains mentally sharp, and stays adaptable to new learning and experiences. The combination of fasting, nutrient-rich foods, exercise, and good sleep provides the most powerful support for maintaining this cellular cleanup system. When your brain can efficiently remove waste and recycle its damaged parts, it stays biologically young, even as the years pass. Healthy autophagy ensures that neurons continue to fire smoothly, that thoughts remain clear, and that the mind retains its vitality throughout life. The rate at which we age is not completely fixed by genetics. It's largely shaped by the choices we make every day. Lifestyle determines how efficiently the body activates its repair systems, including macroautophagy, which is the foundation of cellular renewal. This means that even though time moves forward, the biological processes inside us can be slowed or even partially reversed through specific habits. The most important thing to understand is that aging accelerates when the body's cleanup mechanisms are shut down. Poor diet, lack of sleep, constant stress, and inactivity all suppress autophagy, allowing waste, toxins, and damaged proteins to build up in the cells. But when we live in a way that encourages autophagy, the body naturally restores balance, energy, and function. You can't stop the calendar from turning, but you can influence how young your cells behave. One of the simplest ways to activate autophagy and slow aging is through intermittent fasting. When you fast, insulin levels drop, nutrient stress rises, and the body switches from growth mode to repair mode. This is when autophagy is triggered. During this time, old and damaged components are broken down and recycled, and new, more efficient parts are built in their place. This process not only helps maintain muscle and brain health, but also reduces inflammation and oxidative stress, the two main culprits of aging. People who practice fasting often notice clearer thinking, more stable energy, and improved skin tone, all because their cells are working more efficiently. The key is consistency. Short daily fasting periods or occasional extended fasts allow the body to clean itself out and maintain biological youth. A low-carb, high-fat, nutrient-dense diet also plays a critical role. When you reduce sugar and refined carbohydrates, insulin levels remain low, and the body starts burning fat for fuel. This metabolic shift produces ketones, which are clean, efficient sources of energy for the brain and muscles. Ketones also act as powerful signaling molecules that activate autophagy and protect the mitochondria from damage. Whole foods such as leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, avocados, eggs, wild fish, and olive oil provide the right balance of nutrients to support this process. These foods are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that prevent oxidative damage and supply the raw materials needed for cellular repair. In contrast, processed foods, seed oils, and sugary snacks block autophagy, leading to faster aging and increased risk of disease. Exercise is another lifestyle factor that powerfully influences autophagy and the rate of aging. Physical activity creates a mild form of stress on the body that signals the need for adaptation. This stimulates mitochondrial renewal, improves insulin sensitivity, and boosts autophagy, especially in muscle and brain cells. Even moderate activities like walking, cycling, or resistance training help clear out old cellular components and replace them with new ones. High-intensity interval training, in particular, activates genes associated with longevity and cellular repair. Exercise also improves circulation, ensuring that nutrients and oxygen reach every part of the body, while waste products are efficiently removed. Over time, this not only keeps the body strong and mobile, but also keeps internal processes youthful and resilient. Sleep is often underestimated, but it's one of the most powerful anti-aging tools available. During deep sleep, autophagy increases, and the body performs much of its repair work. The brain, in particular, goes through a nightly cleaning cycle where toxins and metabolic waste are flushed out. When sleep is cut short or disrupted, this natural detox process is incomplete and damage begins to accumulate. Poor sleep increases cortisol, the stress hormone, which in turn suppresses autophagy and accelerates inflammation. Prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep allows the body to regenerate, reset hormones, and maintain a strong immune system. Immune system. Stress management is another key component in slowing aging. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which raises blood sugar and insulin levels and shuts down autophagy. Learning to manage stress through deep breathing, meditation, time in nature, or even simple daily relaxation practices can dramatically improve cellular health. When cortisol levels drop, the body can re-enter repair mode. Calm and balance aren't just emotional states. They directly affect how cells renew and how quickly the body ages. Certain nutrients and compounds found in natural foods can further support autophagy. Polyphenols such as resveratrol, found in grapes and blueberries, and spermidine, found in foods like aged cheese and mushrooms, are known to activate the same cellular pathways triggered by fasting. Green tea, turmeric, and cruciferous vegetables also contain compounds that enhance detoxification and cellular cleanup. These foods don't just add nutrition, they send chemical signals that tell your cells to repair, recycle, and rejuvenate. The synergy of these lifestyle factors, fasting, clean nutrition, regular exercise, good sleep, and stress control, creates an environment where the body's natural anti-aging systems work at their best. Each habit reinforces the other, keeping insulin low, inflammation down, and autophagy active. When this system runs smoothly, you not only look younger but also feel younger. Energy becomes more stable, thinking becomes sharper, and recovery from stress or illness happens faster. Aging is not simply about how many years you've lived. It's about how efficiently your body can repair itself from the inside out. By mastering your lifestyle, you take control over the biological clock that determines how you age.